My friend Susie loves my tuna and potato patties, so it was only appropriate that I make it for you all. The best thing about them is they're light and fluffy on the inside and then super crispy on the outside. And just to make them extra special, I'm going to serve them with a Kalette pesto. This is the perfect combination. Now, instead of boiling the potatoes, what I'm going to do is roast them in the oven. So I'll need 3 pieces of foil, 1, perfect. Now I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees and the time will differ depending on how large your potatoes are. So my Spud Lights are a medium potato and these are going to take about 30 to 40 minutes. The best way to test them is just to pierce them with a toothpick, and if it's very easy to put the toothpick through, then they're ready. So I'll wrap them up, pop them in a tray, and we'll do that for 3 of them. And in they go. Now while they're cooking, we can get onto the pesto. Basil pesto is delightful, but to give it a really nutty flavour and a slight pepperiness, these Kalettes work a treat. Now we'll pop that into the blender with a sharp blade and you can just break it up. We want about a handful, and then some basil, 3 or 4 sprigs of basil. Pop that in, along with some parsley, so 3 or 4 sprigs again, and we'll break that up and pop it in. Now at this stage we can also add 1 clove of garlic and some blanched almonds, a generous handful, and you don't need to toast them. A pinch of salt and some freshly cracked pepper. And now the lid can go on and I'll blitz it until it's a fine crumb. Oh, absolutely perfect. Look at this. This is the texture that we're looking for, a fine crumb. Now we can add some vinegar, so some red wine vinegar, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And now the lid can go on, and with the motor still going, I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil. You want to slowly add it in until it's completely incorporated and quite smooth. That pesto is done. It smells fantastic. Look at that vibrant green colour. It's going to go perfectly with my tuna patties. Now all I need to do is pop that into a bowl with some cling film, and we'll just wait for those potatoes to finish cooking, cooling, and then we can start making the patties. So now that the potatoes are completely cooked, they cool down slightly so I can handle them. And what I'm doing is just taking that really yummy buttery flesh out. Now, before I continue doing this, I just want to get a head start on the polenta. That's my secret trick to make sure that they're light and fluffy. So in this bowl is some instant polenta, and I'll add some boiling water, just enough to cover it. Perfect. And you'll see the polenta start to absorb the hot water. This just gives it a head start, so it's not too grainy when you bite into it. So give that a mix and just let that sit there while you continue the potatoes. So I'll just scoop out that last potato. Fabulous. Now into this we can add our feta, so just a small handful of feta. I'll crumble it up. You want it to be quite fine, so just between your fingers is the best way to do this until we get small little pieces. And now for the tuna. I like to use tuna in spring water, and then we'll just drain that. And then with your fork, just break it up into little pieces and just squeezing out that excess liquid. Great. Now that can go into the bowl with the potatoes and feta. And then with the same fork, you can start breaking it up and mashing it together. Once the potatoes are quite mashed, this is where I like to use my hands to really get in there, and we can add the polenta too. So scoop that in and then get your hands in there and mash everything together so it's one nice mixture. Now we're going to form these into patties. So we'll start by rolling them into balls. I'm going to make them into tennis ball sized portions, just like that. And then some more polenta. Make sure you use instant polenta for this, and we'll just press these patties out and use your hands just to roll it so it's the perfect circular shape, press it down again, and then into the polenta. We just want to lightly dust this, shake the excess off, press down on it again, and that's the first patty. All right, I'm going to continue making some of these, and then we can fry them. I fry them in some extra virgin olive oil for about 2 minutes on each side, or until they're really crispy and golden. Look how fantastic these tuna patties look. Really crispy on the top, and they're really light and fluffy in the center. Now, to serve this, I like to add a generous amount of this Kalette pesto in the center of a plate, and then we'll just spread it out. Great. And I'm going to serve 2 of these fluffy tuna patties on top. And to garnish this, some basil and parsley leaves just over the top. I like some freshly cracked pepper too. And then, because I love this Kalette pesto, a small extra drizzle over the top just to season the parsley and basil leaves. That's a super delicious way to use canned tuna, potatoes, a midweek dinner that the whole family will love.